today's video, I'm gonna give you the one-stop video that anybody who's trying to learn how to do self-tapes, how to have the best self-tape possible, this is the one place that you have to come to. I'm creating the video in the exact way that I would have wanted it when I was starting out as an actor and I needed these answers. In order to make this your one-stop video, it has to be easy to understand. So the first thing we have to do for ourselves is we have to build a foundation. We have to know where we're starting out from. The best way to build a foundation is let's talk about what actual casting directors, the people who are gonna cast you, want. So let's watch this first and build our foundation.
What do you expect? So this is really specific. I don't want to see your pantry. I don't want to see your cat. I don't want to see your bed. I don't want you to look like Boris Karloff because there's no lighting, and I definitely want it to be horizontal and not vertical. I don't want to be distracted, and sadly for you actors, I probably have 40 other tapes to look at.
As you can see, what these casting directors are saying is also listed on Backstage. Backstage is a popular platform that many actors, directors use, and it has all the exact same information that these casting directors are talking about. So now I've structured this video in a particular way so we can go through it in actual steps. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the lighting. So let's go ahead and switch our locations a little bit. Okay, so this is what it looks like without any professional lights. Right now, all I have is the ceiling light. This is what a lot of people are gonna have when they're in their homes. The problem is, this is how it looks. It's not very good, shadows are kind of weird, and you can't really see me all that well. Some lights are gonna be a little bit stronger, some are gonna be weaker. My ceiling lights happen to be in this specific room, not that strong. So this is what I would be left with. Now what I wanna show you instead is what happens when we put up some professional lights. It's only gonna be 2 lights. I put them up right behind the camera, but I want you to see what it's gonna look like now when we turn those lights on. Now, as you can see, this looks so much better. Now you can see more of my face, you can see more of my body, you can actually see me. This background here, don't worry, we're gonna be talking about that really soon, but just the visual aspect of me, seeing me, is a lot better. When it comes to casting directors, when they're looking at an actor, they want to know, what do you look like? They want to be able to see you. And that's ultimately what these lights do. These 2 lights that I put on behind the camera, they allow you to see me more compared to these lights that I had above. Just remember this key phrase. What's important for casting directors when it comes to lighting is for them to see you. That's why it matters, and depending on what lights you have, they can also make you look a little bit better. Okay, so I have these lights that I like. These are ring lights. I like these ones a lot because they're Kelvin temperature. You can change them. You can make them warmer or cooler, and then they can affect your skin tone, and that's gonna be helpful for all of you. The thing is, these ones can tend to be a little bit pricey, and with inflation, these are actually more expensive than when I bought them. So right now on Amazon, they go for $110. That can get kind of expensive for you for just 2 lights. So I found these other lights called NiceVeedi. They're their studio lighting, and they actually tend to have a little bit more cooler and warmer temperature range than this light here. And also, they're a lot cheaper. If you want to buy just one of them, they're gonna be about 30 bucks. If you wanna buy 2 of them, they're gonna be about 50 something. It's a lot more effective cost-wise to get these other lights. I think that's enough about the lighting aspect of it. Let's go ahead and move on to our next aspect. So, pretty distracting. You wanna be able to see me and focus again on me. These lights, boom, they help, great. But you're gonna get distracted when you have all this in the background here and you're not gonna focus on me and the acting and seeing if I'm right for the part if you're playing the casting director. So all of this, we get distracted by. You're gonna focus on these things. You're gonna wonder, hey, what is this thing in the background? What is this? What are these reflections happening in the background? This is what casting directors talk about all the time. If you watch different interviews with casting directors, so they're gonna ask, what is going on in the background if it's not blank? Because they're gonna get distracted, and it's really easy. All of a sudden, when you guys are watching this video and the lights came on, did you not look behind me and see what is over here? Did you not look at this painting right here? Did the background not distract you? Of course it did. It would for anybody. That's okay. Maybe for a YouTube video, for sure for this example, it's great. But when it comes to you doing a self-tape, you really want it to just be clean and simple behind you. So get one last look at this. This is what this looks like when you have all of this behind. And as you can see, this is what a blank backdrop looks like. Much cleaner, much easier just to focus on me now. Now you're not getting distracted by everything that was behind me. These come in different colors. You can get them in white, you can go and get them in black, you can get them in blue, gray, a lot of different colors. The most popular ones though that people tend to use is gonna be gray, it's gonna be white, and it's gonna be blue. I also tend to like black. Sometimes black can work well for people. It really just depends on your skin tone, your hair color, what you're wearing. A lot of different factors can get involved, but typically the popular ones tend to be blue, gray, and white. I hope you guys are enjoying being able to see the before and after. If you're like me and you're a big visual learner, this is really helpful for you just to kind of see the process of what it looks like beforehand and how improvement can be made so you can see it for yourself and you'll be able to implement this right away. The next thing that I want to show you all is now other actors who also use this nice clean backdrop. So you can see that it's not just me, but it's a lot of actors who like to use this and it's been really successful for them. So go ahead and take a look at some of these actors and then we'll get into our next point.
Why don't you show yourself? You seem very familiar with my name, but I do not remember smelling one of your kind before.
It's you. And I want things to go back how they used to be. Walking to school together, dancing on tables at Bungalow.
Well, I don't know. I'll find out when I talk to him.
So you're not gonna break your promise? That's what this is about? I thought it was about following your heart, Al.
So backdrops can tend to range in pricing. I put one down in the description down below that was a little bit less than $50 for all of you. Now, if you don't want to have to pay any money at all, something that's a little bit easier is you can get a sheet for yourself and you can put it behind you. Just make sure that if it's like a bed sheet or something that you iron it out because you don't want those wrinkles behind you because the wrinkles end up becoming distracting.
You know?
Oh, right, a sheet like a backdrop. Yeah, and when it's all wrinkled, it is so distracting. You're right.
Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about audio. So what I have right now is my Rode boom mic, and I have it actually right below me. It's pointed towards me at this angle, and it picks up my audio great because the mic is close to me, and it's actually a professional microphone. What I want to show you is what the difference is between hearing this microphone and hearing something that you're probably going to use, which is just your phone. Let's just hear the difference. So I have my phone right here. I'm going to start recording, and I'm just going to switch and start talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is audio that's coming from my phone, and we're going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is now audio that's coming from the Rode boom mic. The one thing I want you to understand and not forget about is thinking, oh my God, I have to go and at some point get this type of microphone to spend all this money. Honestly speaking, you don't. It does help, it does make it sound a little bit better, but you don't need it. When it comes to sound, people, what I found, tend to be a little bit more forgiving. As long as you don't have like a baby that's crying in the background or siblings running around or you got traffic moving about outside or a helicopter flying by, people tend to be a little bit more forgiving as long as they can hear you. So even if you end up using your iPhone audio for having that be the audio that people hear in the recordings, they tend to be okay with that. Anyways, that's a lot of talk that we just went into on sound. Let's go ahead and move on to our next section. So next, we're gonna be talking about framing. As you can see, a little bit different. Now we're more punched in compared to before, we were a little bit more out. You saw more of my body. If we're doing comedy, we tend to have a little bit more body being shown. We don't have too much, but we may have a little bit more. If you're doing something that's a little bit more dramatic, more serious, or you really want to connect with that casting director, typically you're going to want to punch in a little bit more in your shots. So some simple things, you want to make sure that your framing is good. So let's imagine right now what bad framing would be if the camera was a little bit higher, then that would mean that we'd have more headroom. So just to simulate this, instead of having to go and move the actual camera, if I bend my knees and I'm lower, that's if the equivalent of the camera being higher. If you have too much headroom, it doesn't look too good. If I go and I'm too high and my head starts to get cut off, again, that's bad framing as well. What you want is you want to be able to have enough framing where maybe you have a little bit of some headroom. You can have some room, but you don't want to have too much. You want it to look a little bit more something like this, how we're in. When you're looking at your reader, you want to make sure that your reader is next to the camera. You're not going to ever look down the barrel of the lens unless specifically directed to do that. So what you're going to do then is you're going to look next to the camera. You can pick which side. I could pick this side, or I can pick this side. I'm not going too far this way, not going too far this way. What happens if I go too far? Boom, you're missing a lot of this side of my face. The same on this side. Remember, casting directors want to see you, want to see what you look like, so you want to make sure that your vision is directed here towards the side of the camera, so then that way they can see more of your face. It's okay if you break a little bit in a scene and you look to the side. I'm not saying you can't do that, but for the majority of the scene, you're going to be wanting to focus in one spot or the other. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the reveal. What does it look like when we put all of this together? To have good lighting, to have a good backdrop behind you, to be able to be seen well, to have good framing for yourself. What does it all look like when it's put together? I showed you all the bad of what it looked like. That's basically what we started out with when you couldn't see me and then the backdrop wasn't good and all of that. We saw that from the beginning. Now I'm gonna show you more of what that final product looks like. I have to go and record this self-tape because this is one that I got from my manager, so I do actually have have to record it. For confidentiality purposes, I can't show you everything, so you can't actually go and hear what I'm saying because that dialogue, I don't own it, it's not mine, so I can't put that out there, but I can show you what does it look like? What does this final product end up turning out to be? So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a look at that. The way that this audition turned out. And the reason it turned out this way is because I've been doing this for so long. What you've seen me do in this video is typically considered the gold standard. This is what everybody's looking for. This is what casting directors, as you saw at the very beginning, are asking for and wanting to see. This is the gold standard, but I want to show you what the silver standard is and what the bronze standard is, and you can see all of those different levels. But before we do any of that, I do want you to also know that we have our 10-hour acting masterclass, our 2.0 version for anybody who's wanting to take their acting to the next level and improve on their craft and become a much more proficient actor. That's going to be down in the description down below and also in the comment section if you're interested in that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look now at some of these celebrity actors and see what they've done with some of their self-tapes.
That's not fair. He's mine. Well, not anymore. Now listen. You got two choices.
Even though you knew what happened, you didn't come. You know. Hold my hand.
Because you're a coalition of social misfits.
You act like you don't even know us.
Oh, I am lost. I'm trying to get inside the base. Man, I saw you fight. How the hell did they arrest you?
I can only imagine what it is you're going through.
It was crazy.
Well, you don't have a big dumb cast on your legs from falling in a big dumb hole.
I guarantee he would have disappointed you.
Get out of my head.
What are you eating?
Oh, it's one of those delicious falafel hot dogs with cinnamon and bacon on top.
You know nothing about my life. I ain't never had no boyfriend.
The universe is so much bigger than you even realize. Michelle.
So this video is the gold standard. It's everything that you need for your self-tapes. The next time that you have an audition for yourself and you have to do a self-tape, go back to this video, rewatch it and see what are some elements that are in here that maybe you missed, maybe you forgot about. Are you including everything that you have to in your next self-tape? All right, I'll see you later. Good luck to everybody. Until next time, peace.